Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Lockdown 23 and 1. It's not Juan, it's Juan. Alright, let's get that straightened out right now. Bobby likes to comment Juan in the comment section and started a whole tidal wave. Today, we're jumping back into a courtroom to witness Mr. Blueface, the rapper, get sentenced for his crimes. It says that the rapper was arrested last year in connection with the shooting of a man named Contavious Trailer at a Las Vegas strip club. He was initially charged with attempted murder but pleaded guilty to a reduced charge of battery. And that is a major drop from attempted murder, so I'm guessing he was happy about that. So let's jump into the courtroom, see how much time he's going to get for this lowered charge of battery. Get those khakis and dockers fresh pressed to impress the judge. You know them judges love them fresh pressed dockers. Alright, we got Blueface here. I see you in New York drip. But one thing before we press play, tap that like, subscribe, notification bell if you enjoy. And stay tuned to the end. I got an update on my new art piece. You might not want to miss that.
Good morning, Your Honor. So the court has properly reiterated the terms of the negotiation. I think since Mr. Ports went into some of the detail, I think it's important for the court to have some context and understand why this negotiation is the way it is. While it is certainly true that Mr. Trailer was involved in a fight with people at the strip club, Mr. Porter was not involved in that fight. And what happened later was Mr. Trailer went to his vehicle and then drove very slowly up to a group of people who he felt had aggrieved him in the fight and rolled down his window and displayed a firearm, causing other people to jump back. And then he sped into a group of people, ended up hitting a woman and hitting other cars, and then took off. And that's at the moment when the conduct from our client occurs. So while I'm not here to minimize it in any way, it's dangerous, there is no doubt, but there is a lot from Mr. Trailer that led up to this. And I think the court should also be aware Mr. Trailer is suing Mr. Porter, the nightclub. The nightclub is being sued by the woman who got hit by Mr. Trailer. I mean, there is a lot of moving parts here. But then Mr. Trailer met up with friends over at Town Center in a parking lot, didn't call the police. He was in his employer's work truck, and he must have realized the next day that he needed to explain why he got into an accident and hit these other cars in his employer's work truck, and only then did he decide to make a police report.
First off, Mr. Porter is Blueface. Mr. Trailer's the guy that got shot in the hand, grazed, whatever. And I seen the video of this taking place, if I remember correctly, and Mr. Trailer, man, he was driving pretty reckless. But I'm gonna say this, after watching that video, if this happened in Virginia and I was a shooter, man, I'd be going back to penitentiary till there's 3 doors on a microwave. If I was in the courtroom, judge would have been like, you know what, well, you had a cell phone, you could just call the cops. You know, and off to prison I go. So, man, he's very fortunate in this puppy. But another thing I like to give my ex-criminal experience 2 cents on is she said that it wasn't until the next day that Mr. Trailer, the guy that got shot, decided to call the cops, probably because he seen the damage on his boss's work truck. That ain't the case, ma'am. I can almost assure you that. Keep in mind, this is just my 2 cents, but I think Mr. Trailer is probably drunk as a skunk. And everybody knows, man, you can't win nothing if the cops show up, even if you weren't at fault. Just because you're drunk, nobody's gonna believe anything. You're under the influence, buddy. Your word's good as nothing. But I'm not gonna stamp it on Mr. Trailer. He probably never drank a drop in his life. Who knows? And also, she's been speaking about these deals, right? Keep in mind, before he even came into this courtroom today, there was a deal struck. So Blueface ain't really got nothing to worry about. He knows what he's facing. But at the same time, I guess the judge has a final say so. She could go against this whole plea deal that they've been making, but chances are usually that never happens. Only time that really happens is if the judge wants you to pay.
And he did have some kind of a graze wound on his hand. And again, no one here to minimize that. I think the court needs to understand that there's a dynamic here. I think because of the civil litigation, Mr. Porter's probably going to opt not to address the court, but I'll let him decide that. The negotiation is reasonable given the circumstances of this case. The other incident that Mr. Ports references has to do with taking a cell phone from a woman, and that is who was filming him, and the woman was actually punched by a female colleague of Mr. Porter's.
Oh man, she kind of messing up on this. So a lot of people might not know, but Mr. Blueface has I believe it's a robbery incident somewhere else where someone was recording them with their phone and they ended up getting punched and they snatched the phone from them. Boom, robbery. Be careful what you take from people's hands that ain't yours. But why is she bringing it up in the courtroom? I'm sure the judge sees it in the file, but you don't want to be bringing it up in front of their face. Maybe she didn't see it, but now that you're talking about it, it could change things, so I probably would have been silent right there about that. Not to mention, she just says he's in another altercation where they took a cell phone from a girl and she got punched. The other attorney, man, she needs to be the one ringleading this whole thing. She had to stop her and say, look, they were recording them without their permission. So I think that was a little bit of a mishap for his defense side of things.
But again, not trying to minimize. I didn't come. We didn't.
You are minimizing, though.
We came in here to say that the negotiation is reasonable and the court should follow it. He does live in California and will be seeking interstate compact transfer under the interstate compact agreement.
Interstate compact, for anybody that doesn't know, is usually, because he's in Vegas right now where the crime took place, usually if you're on probation for something, then you have to stay in that state during probation. You can't leave unless you got permission from your PO or the courts. And that's what an interstate compact is. It allows or writes down exactly where he'll be going in these other states and allows him to do so. Usually it's only for work where you can travel to other states, and I'm sure old Blueface being a rapper, you can find work in any state across the whole country. There's all kinds of ways to jump around and finagle the whole interstate compact, especially when you got a profession like that. Also, if you got a immediate family member that passes away or something, they usually let people go to other states for that, the funerals and stuff. But yeah, most times you're not going to be able to leave the state until you're off them papers.
We believe that an underlying sentence of 12 to 36 months is appropriate versus the state's position of 4 to 10. There's no restitution request in this case, I noted from the probation report, and I assume that's because Mr. Traylor is going to pursue his remedies in some civil suit. And it does appear that Mr. Porter has credit time served for 22 days by my read of the probation report.
Mr. Traylor has a civil suit against him. He's suing Blueface, probably a couple other people as well, the guy that got shot. And typically, when someone is found guilty, whether they take a plea bargain or not for that crime, then it makes it much easier for the person to win that civil lawsuit. So
we would ask that the court, I don't think that there's any opposition to the order out. I thought that the strip corridor ended at Sahara.
I did too, and that's why I was curious to see if there was a separate order related, because I think what the focus is if he's going to be interstate compacting, obviously,
right,
limited issue there, but if he's going to be here,
First off, I am sick and tired of this guy mean mugging me. Second of all, it seems like they're trying to keep old Blueface out of the casino area of Vegas. Oh man, what's the point of being there then, ma'am? Angriest court secretary I've ever seen.
Request being made that to the extent casinos and sort of those environments might be
no casinos.
not appropriate during the probation.
Right.
I understand the ask. I just wanted to see how it covered it, and they know that they've changed it somewhat recently, and I don't have a copy of it here. That's
I mean, if you wanted to include it to strip corridor to the 95, that's fine. I think you could just say it that way. I just don't think that the traditional order out region covers downtown. We're not opposing it. He doesn't live here, and it's fine, and that's fine.
Ms. Reporter, is there anything that you would like to say on your own behalf today? I appreciate that you have the other matter pending. I'll say something, but you're certainly not. Okay. This reporter is going to decline to speak on his own behalf today.
That's right.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, I forgot. Ms. Wilson.
Blueface don't speak in no courtrooms.
PSI that's not accurate.
Okay. It's time now to hear from Mr. Trailer. Are you ready?
Mr. Trailer, the guy that got grazed in the hand. Let's see what he has to say.
Okay, come on up. Before you do your testimony, the clerk will speak. Swear you in before you speak.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Please state your full name, spelling your first and last name for the record.
Kentavious Trailer, Kentaab as in boy, IUS, last name Trailer, Traylor.
And Mr.
Oh, he's
Trailer,
frustrated.
what is your testimony today for the court?
So first of all, I just want to start by saying thank you, Judge. I'm just completely disappointed in this complete process, actually. From the DA to his representation to him to everything. It's just all been a complete drop of the ball on my end. I have complete lost faith in the justice system. Yeah, this crime has done nothing but take a toll on my life since the day it happened. I haven't been able to get work. Everything has gone down the drain.
What?
And yeah, I just feel like this has not been done on my case. I mean, this hasn't been done on my behalf. I know people who get more time for stealing bubble gum, honestly. I know people who do more time for stealing TVs than they do for shooting somebody. Yeah, I hate the way my name was ridiculed in the social media before I could even find out about it. Like I said, just this complete process has been a complete drop of the ball. Yeah, that's all I got to say about it. It's a complete drop of the ball, and that's it. It is what it is.
And Mr. Trailer, I really appreciate you expressing the frustrations that you have, and I know that the outcome here today won't change that because what the negotiation is has a certain range of sentence and a certain
Yeah, but
aspect to it.
even that, like I said, I feel like those terms and conditions, I know myself included, would have more than that for domestic violence, for this or that. He has this going over multiple states, multiple this, multiple that. You guys are arguing semantics on can he come here to make money, and so he doesn't deserve to be here. He doesn't deserve to be out and walking around. He doesn't deserve any of that, honestly. Because he has a little bit of money and a little bit of a name, you guys are gonna give him that, and that's okay. But just at the end of the day, like I said, I just want to say my piece, and like I said, I'm completely disappointed in all of this.
Understood. Mr.
So,
Trailer, and I'm not trying to
that's it.
convince you anything otherwise, and I'm not having a dialogue with you here. I'm just trying to give you the wrap up here that we are gonna conclude this case. It sounds like you have another process pending. So
Yeah,
there's
but
a-
that has nothing to do with how I feel about this in general.
Again,
Yeah,
not a dialogue.
yeah.
I'm
it's
just
okay.
sharing some information with you.
The way the judge is speaking to him, you could tell that she's frustrated. She ain't got time for this crap. I'm not gonna dialogue with you. I'm not dialoguing.
I understand that. I'm not trying
He
to
ain't got
convince you
time
anything.
for it. Look.
I'm trying to tell you that we're gonna complete this process here today.
Yeah.
To the extent that it closes out this process, good or bad, obviously bad from your perspective, it will close it out. And I hope that you'll use the other process to find whatever, relief it is that you are seeking, it not meaning whatever I presuppose any outcome there, but just that there is another avenue. And
Yeah.
the court is gonna act within the parameters of what it has here and bring this matter to a close. But I can assure you.
Hold on,
I'm not
man.
giving anybody any breaks because of any status they have or money they have. I'm working within a system and within a negotiation, and I trust my counsel to make negotiations for reasons, and I appreciate that that's not gonna sit well with you. I just thank you for your time here today and letting us know how you feel about it,
Yes, ma'am.
because that's important.
Yep.
Thank you, Mr. Trailer. You may
Appreciate
take
you.
your seat.
What the hell's going on here? He pulled out the old cell phone right in front of the judge. This is unreal to me. I thought even the victims and stuff, everybody has to drop their cell phones off at the door, right? Ain't that how it goes? I don't know, man. This is crazy. Taking selfies in the courtroom right in front of the judge. That's like using a cell phone in prison right in front of the warden. Yeah, baby, you coming to the VI this week. Don't forget to bring that pack. All right, warden, I'll be over there raking them leaves here in a little bit. If the judge says nothing about him pulling out the phone, man, I don't know what kind of realm we're in.
If you wish to stay.
Blueface staring him down.
Proceed with the sentencing of Mr. Porter, and as per
Still mean mugging.
I'm going to give an opportunity of probation to Mr. Porter. Same discussion with you, Mr. Porter, that I had with another gentleman this morning. You are here and doing probation here, unless and until you are affirmatively approved, meaning given actual permission by the criminal probation department to travel out of state, whether it be a travel pass initially or your interstate compact, but you will have to be here doing your probation. And I'm gonna go through the terms and conditions and your underlying sentence and all the specifics. And I wanna emphasize something here before I even get to that point. You know you cannot have guns. There's no confusion on that point. And if you choose to roll with guns, then that's your choice. But I will tell you, if you get caught doing that, you get brought back here on any kind of probation violation, especially anything involving weapon, I will not hesitate to put you in prison for a significant period of time. You are playing with your liberty, your life, obviously, but you're playing with your liberty if you're gonna have guns and do anything that's gonna violate your probation in that regard. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't want there to be any confusion. I hear people who say things about, you know, I didn't realize I couldn't, you know, do this or that or have pictures with them or whatever. No, 0 guns around you, where you are of any kind, and that needs to be quite clear. Somebody just handed me the order out. It looks like Sahara to Russell does not cover downtown, so I'm gonna account for that. So I'm gonna adjudicate Mr. Porter this time guilty of discharge firearm at or into occupied structure, vehicle, aircraft, or watercraft. His underlying sentence will be a minimum of 24, maximum of 60 months in Nevada Department of Corrections, suspended with probation not to exceed 36 months. He will have to pay the $25 return assessment fee, $3 DNA collection fee, $150 DNA analysis fee. As we noted, no restitution being requested.
Sentenced to 60 months in prison, all suspended except for 30 months of probation. If he happens to get in trouble within those 30 months of probation, it's going to be a violation. They could give him the whole 60 months back. But 30 months of probation ain't nothing. Usually with good behavior and paying all the court costs or whatever, they're going to let you go very quick. If I were to guess, Blueface would be off this paperwork in about 10 months. They let me out like 3 years early on mine just because I was doing good for 2 years and I paid all my court costs. You know, the PO literally told me straight up, look, them court costs, man, you know, if you didn't pay them, we would still keep you on probation. And, you know, try not to let his celebrity status affect it, man. You might be a huge fan of Blueface, but I want you to look at it from a perspective as everybody's a normal individual. Do you think if Blueface was just a normal old cat, would he have been going to prison? Or do you think his celebrity status saved him a bit? But until the next time, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to tap that like, subscribe, notification bell if you enjoy. And let me show you, I forgot. I said I had an update on my board. And I do. This is what I got going on so far. Alright. So, I got a lot of work to do. I was showing the wrong end first. But that's what I got so far. Keep in mind, this is just a rough draft. I haven't went and done any of the details too much yet with the shadows and stuff. But, yeah. It's going to be pretty dope when it's done and epoxied. It's going to look like a magical little reef scene. Even down to the old treasure chest. And I haven't even put the fish up here. I got about 6 or 7 fish to pop into the background of this puppy. So be on the lookout on my Etsy page if you're interested in purchasing my beautiful, fantastic artwork. Guaranteed to turn heads, man. Guaranteed. I promise you that. But as always, until the next time, y'all be easy, be safe, and stay free.